Hello, this is Apsona, Justin from Apsona. I'm going to be walking you through the 3 steps to be able to use our campaign segmentation and list management solution and move it to your campaign record page. Here we have, just to make sure that you've installed the prerequisite, make sure that you install all of the product licenses here on our install page. Under these 3 steps, we're going to go through the steps to use this report template, adjusting it to your end users, creating a Visualforce page to then show that as a dedicated Visualforce page, and then moving that Visualforce page when and where you want it for your users. The first step from our template from earlier today is to first download that multi-step report. We call this our campaign segmentation .dat file. This is a .dat file. You will use this to import to Apsona, and it's using all standard objects at this point. My next step is to go to Apsona. And under Apsona, I'm going to go to Apsona tab, Settings, Apsona Items, and I'm going to import that solution that I downloaded in my Downloads folder. Under Import Items, I'm going to choose the file in question, and I can see right here that the particular name of this report is called Inclusion Exclusion Report with Fills. I'm going to click on Import and Close. And now if I sort this Apsona items, I'll see that just recently, as of today, I've just imported the report, and it's available for me in the multi-step report folder here called Imported 2025-0123. So the first thing that for you to be aware of is, since this is a standard report based on standard objects, you may need to adjust and tweak your particular scenario to fit your needs. So the way you do that is in Apsona. If I click on this record here, click on Edit, essentially this multi-step report includes campaign members, contact, and then opportunities as an object 3 different times. Again, the campaign member here as well is filtered to a very specific, criteria here. The contacts have a filter criteria on them as well, and the opportunities are all filtered by close date. Now, saving and running this report would get me a lot of records, because right now the campaign members that start this report aren't linked to any particular campaign. So you can do so, or you can start the filter and just say, hey, select an initial campaign by clicking on campaign member, campaign, and then choosing the one that you want. If you'd like to sort of demo this out and see what it's like, you want to do so. So at save and run, the expectation would be our report builder. You can sort of see and look at what the report looks like, adjust it, tweak it, and sort of fit your needs through the edit button, changing and adjusting the report steps along the way. What we want to do, though, is strip this filter criteria here, because we want to make sure that this would apply to any campaign. If we load this report on a campaign record page, it shows up anywhere and everywhere. And then lastly, once we save this, we want to make sure that this report that we have, we want to just save it as, maybe I'll call it number 3. I'll save it so I can sort of identify it from the rest of them. And then I want to go and follow the next step on our tutorial. So I have the report template, I imported it, and I've now adjusted it to my needs. Next step is to use Apsona's handy tools to create a Visualforce page for this report. I'm going to go back to Apsona. I'm going to go to Settings, and then under VF Pages and Buttons, I'm going to note that there's several options here, and one of them allows me to choose a multi-step report here and set it as a related list. So I know that the first step of my report starts with campaign members, so I'm going to want to say the campaign member in question. Let me go find that inclusion exclusion report with the gift totals 3. It's going to read all the objects built on that report, and it's going to say, how do I want to sort of relate this? I want to relate it to a parent object. That parent object, the ID is available on that report, allow me to link it to the campaign. So I know that the multi-step report, I want to nest it or put it as a child tab on a particular campaign record page. I'm going to click on Generate Code, and essentially Apsona's provided all the code I need right here to move on to the next step. I'm going to follow these instructions here and paste into the Visualforce markup area of a new Visualforce page on my tutorial screen. This is part of the creating the Visualforce page step. The way that I do that in Salesforce is I go to Setup, under my Setup menu in Salesforce. The Visualforce page is a standard Salesforce component. If I type in Visualforce, I would expect to see it here. If you don't have access to the Visualforce pages menu item, you may need to ask your admin for access or for assistance. And here in the middle of the page is a new button where I can create that Visualforce page. Make this inclusion exclusion report, just as a simple name. I'm going to hit Tab, make sure that there's no spaces in this name field. It's an API field we need. I'm going to make sure that I check available for Lightning Experience to make sure that this is something that loads whether I'm in Classic or Lightning. And then lastly, I'm going to paste the code that I copied earlier. So all the information that I want, including the title, is on this multi-step report. When I click on Save, I now have a Visualforce page report that loads this report whenever and wherever I want it to be. So this could be a top page. I could put this on the home page. I could create my own Visualforce tab. Lots of ways to control this. But our goal is to simply say, we now put this Visualforce page with the embedded report onto the campaign record. That last step is available here. I'm going to move that page to the campaign. I'm going to go back to my campaign page. I'm going to go to gear icon, edit the page. In this scenario, I often find to embed this as a particular tab on other series of tabs. So I'm going to delete the campaign component I had earlier. I'm going to go down here and say maybe I want to sort of embed this as a particular tab. I could do that, add it as a tab and add the Visualforce page there. Or I might want to just drop the Visualforce in the middle screen. At this point, you, your admin, can easily drop that Visualforce page component here. And then in the Visualforce page name area here, this is where we look for that page name that we called it earlier. And it's called exclude. And now we can see a preview of the screen. It is loading the report, basing it on the particular campaign it's on, and linking all the campaign members dedicated to that report on the screen. Maybe I'd like to make the screen height a little bit easier to see, make it a little broader. And the page loads again. And I can see 306 records available here. Click on Save and back. And voila, I have the embedded report now on a campaign record page available for review, export, and I'm serving a number of needs for my end users and supporting my team. We call this the view-only report ability for Apsona to service your end users. Hope that's helpful. Send us an email at support@apsona.com if you have questions. Have a great day.